further math again by doing a continuation of surds. So we said root 3 minus root 3 is root 3 minus root 2. The conjugate of root 3 minus root 2 is root 3 plus root 2. So all you need to do is change the sign from minus to plus, right? So let's move on. Let's move on to another aspect of surds. Next, we'll talk about conjugate surds now. Next, we'll talk about rationalizing the denominator. Now, what it means to rationalize the denominator is to multiply the top and the bottom of the surd by the conjugate. Let's do that. Now, if they say rationalize a surd 3 divided by root 7, what you do is multiply both top and bottom by the conjugate of the denominator. And what is conjugate of the denominator? That's root 7, right? Let's multiply up by root 7 and multiply bottom by root 7. So 3 times root 7 will be what? 3 root 7. Over root 7 times root 7, the root to cancel the roots, that will give you 7. That's 3 root 7 over 7. That's how you rationalize the denominator. Now let me give another example. Let's say we have 2 minus root 4 over 3 minus root 2. Okay, let me change this 4 to root 3. 2 minus root 3 minus 3 divided by 3 minus root 2. Now, the first thing you do is you multiply up and down by the conjugate of the denominator, and the denominator is the surd that is down below. So what's the conjugate? What's the conjugate of 3 minus root 2? The conjugate of 3 minus root 2 is what? 3 plus root 2. So we multiply up by 3 plus root 2. That's times 3 plus root 2 over multiply down to by the same 3 plus root 2. 3 plus root 2. So the reason why you multiply up and down is that the top and down of an equation must be kept constant. So when you cancel 3 plus root 2 and 3 plus root 2, you will still leave you with your original term or original question. So rationalizing your denominator does not change the value of your surd. It only makes it more pleasing to see. So now let's work. Now 2 times 3, that's 6. 2 times root 2, that's plus 2 root 2. Minus root 3 times 3, that's minus 3 root 3. Minus root 3 times plus root 2, that's minus root 6. So we are done with the top. Let's go to the bottom. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times root 2 is what? 3 root 2, that's plus 3 root 2. Minus root 2 times 3, that's minus 3 root 2. Minus root 2 times root 2, that's minus 2. So going on, we have 6 above. Now we are going to look for any similar surds. This one is root 2, this is root 3. They are not similar, right? Now this minus root 6, they are all not similar. So we'll write everything like that. Plus 2 root 2 minus 3 root 3 minus root 6 over 9. Now this plus 3 root 2 minus 3 root 2, they cancel each other, right? That will leave us with 9 minus 2. So this becomes, our denominator becomes 7 divided by 7. That's 6 plus 2 root 2 minus 3 root 3 minus root 6 over 7. That's the solution of this question. That's how to rationalize the denominator. Now, if you don't understand this fully, my number is in the description below. So don't forget to like, share and subscribe to this channel so that you can begin to enjoy more and more of this content. So let's move on. Next, we'll talk about equality of surds. Now, equality of surds states that for two surds to be equal, the real part must be equal to the surd part. So that means if A plus root B is equal to C plus root D, that means A must be equal to C and root B must be equal to root D. Now we apply this principle when we want to calculate the square root of a surd. Now surds also have their own particular roots, and because of that I'm going to give an example of this. Now they said find the square root of 7 plus root 2 root 10. Let's do that now. The square root of 7 plus 2 root 10, that's the surd itself. Now this is question 7 plus 2 root 10. Now let's say the square root of this. Let's say the square root is a plus b, a plus root b, or let's call it root a plus root b. Imagine that this is square root. Now when you want to convert from the square root to a square, you square. If this is square root, you square the square root to get the number, right? Now this number will be equal to the square of the square root. So 7 plus 2 root 10 will be equal to a plus root b, the square of a plus root b, which is the square root. Now let's manipulate that. That will be root a plus root b times root a plus root b. In two places, that will be root a times root a is a, root a times root b, that's plus root ab, root b times root a, that's root plus root ab, still root ab. Because multiplication is irrespective of order. Root ba is still equal to root b plus ab, so that's why I wrote root ab. Then root b times root b, that's b. So finally we have a plus root ab plus root ab, that's 2 root ab. 2 root ab. Just as when we have x plus x is 2x, right? So root ab plus root ab will be 2 root ab. Then plus b. Now let's equate it to our 7 plus 2 root 10. Now we'll go back to this equality of sorts to say that the real part must be equal to the sort. The real part must be equal to the real part. The sort part must be equal to the sort part. So here's the real part in the first one. The real part is a plus b, right? So let's compound it into 2. A plus b. Let's put a beside b. A plus b, then plus 2 roots ab. So that means a plus b. If you put it in a bracket, you can say a plus b is equal to 7. Then we can also say 2 root ab is 2 root 10. When we cancel the 2, we have root ab is equal to root 10, and therefore ab equals to 10. So by using simultaneous equation, we can solve this. Namely, let's make a the subject. A is 7 minus b. A is 7 minus b, right? So that means let's substitute a in second equation. Let this be equation 1 and let this be equation 2. So a, instead of writing a, we have 7 minus b. A is 7 minus b times b. So what we just done, we substituted a is equal to 7 minus b into equation 2 is equal to 10. So multiplying 7b minus b squared is equal to 10. Now let's transfer each term to the other side. That means 0 is equal to 7b is equal to 10 is equal to 1 transfer b to the other side is equal to plus b squared minus 7b plus 10. So b squared minus 7b plus 10 is 0. So we could factorize this, right? We could say minus 5 minus 2. That's 0 is equal to b squared minus 5b minus 2b plus 10. When we factorize, we have what? B open bracket. B squared divided by b is b, right? Minus 5b divided by b is minus 5. Minus 5. Close your bracket. Then open the second bracket. What's common to both sides? Minus 2. Let's bring minus 2 out. Minus 2. Minus 2 divided by minus 2, that's b. 10 divided by minus 2, that's minus 5. Minus 5. So as further math students, I hope you have been able to grasp the base of mathematics before you can understand mathematics. Before you can understand further math. So factorizing both sides, we have b minus 2 open bracket b minus 5 is equal to 0. So we'll bring 0 to the right side. So that means b will be equal to what? 2 or 5. So what that means is that since a plus b is 7, so when b is 2, a will be 5. When b is 5, a will be 2. Now this is one method of solving this equation. So that means the square root of 7 plus 2 root 10 will be equal to what? That will be root what? If b is 2, that will be root 5 plus root 2. So because there are two terms, root 2 plus root 5 is equal to, is still the same thing as root 5 plus root 2. So this is the square root of 7 plus 2 root 10. So that's on equality of sorts. Next, we'll go to equations in irrational forms. There are many irrational forms of equations. Equations in irrational forms are equations that they have square roots. And we'll still be using the same principles of Surds to solve equations in irrational form. So let's dive in. So we are still on Surds and this Global Education Zone channel. Now let me give an equation now. Imagine you are given an equation of 2 root 3x plus 4 plus x is equal to 36. So I'm like 2 root 3x plus 4 plus x plus 36. Now what do? As a fellow mathematics student, you don't get intimidated. You cannot get intimidated by this. It's just like a normal equation. You approach it carefully. 2 root 3x plus 4 plus x is equal to 36. So what's the answer? Now let's go carefully. One step, the first step is to take away every other term apart from your roots. So you separate your root term, your surdical term from every other term. So this term x is not a surdical term, right? We move it to the right side. So I'll separate it from the surdical term. So we have 2 root 3x plus 4. So this 3x plus 4 they are both covered by the root. Is equal to, now one move x to the other side, that's 36 minus x. So we've done that now. Now, what else? We can say that we can square both sides, right? Let's square both sides. Square both sides. So we have 2 root 3x plus 4. The square of this is equal to the square of 36 minus x. Now when we square this, that will become 2. The square of 2 is what? 4. So anytime things are multiplied in a bracket, they each carry the square. So this is 2 square times 3 root 3x minus plus 4 square. That's 4 times the square of root 3x plus 4 is the square. Your square will cancel your square root. Will give you ordinary 3x plus 4. So in calculations, squares always cancel square roots. Now let's go to this one. Open your bracket. That will be 36 square. And 36 square is what? I have my calculator handy here. 36 square is 1296. 1296. Now, there's a method of expanding this bracket I will not want to talk about. But let me just expand it in the normal way. 36 minus x. 36 times 36 is 36 square. 36 times minus x, that's minus 36x. Minus x times 36 is minus 36x. Minus x times minus x, that's plus x squared. Right? We are good to go. Now the next thing we'll do is, let's open the bracket on the left hand side. 4 times 3x, that's 12x. 4 times 4x, that's 16x plus 16x. Is equals to 1296 minus 36x minus 36x, that's minus 72x plus x squared. Now 12x plus 16, sorry, there's going to be an x here, this 16. Now let's move all the side, to the right side. Let's move, so 0 is equals to 1296 minus 72x plus x squared minus 12x moves to the other side, it turns to minus 12x. 116 moves to the other side, it turns to minus 16 is equal to 0, right? So 0. 1296 minus 16 is what? So let's try to make sure we are on the right side. We are doing the right thing. 1296 minus 16, that's 1280. 1280. So let's write our x squared first to make it a quadratic equation. 1000, that's x squared plus 1280. Then what else? Minus 72x minus 12x, that's minus 96x. That's 96. Minus 84x. Now this is a quadratic equation. It's a large quadratic equation. But if we solve it, we have x squared. We'll get our factors as 20 and 64. Because 20 plus 64 is 84 and 20 times 64 is 1280. So we have our factors as 20 and 64. So that will change to minus. That's minus 20 and minus 64. That will be what? X squared. 0 is equal to x squared minus 20x minus 64x plus 1280. So that means factorizing x out, that will be x squared divided by x, that's x, minus 20x divided by x, that's minus 20. Close your bracket. What's common between the last two? Minus 64. Minus 64x divided by minus 64, that's x. Minus 64 divided by 1280, that's minus 20. So factorizing, we have what? X minus 64. Open your bracket, close your bracket, open your bracket, x minus 20. So that means it's either x. So either x minus 64 is equal to 0, or x minus 20 is equal to 0. So if any of these one is 0, or if both of them are 0, it satisfies this equation. So x is what? 64, or x is 20. So that's the solution of this question. And you would further check your answers to see which of these satisfies your equation. So anyone that satisfies your equation is the required root, and anyone that does not satisfy your equation is the extraneous root. That is the root that is not needed. Now I'll give that to you as work. So where you are, you can substitute this into your equation. 2 root 3x plus 4 plus x is equal to 36. So substitute our answer. We got 64 and 20. Substitute either of them. Anyone that does not satisfy the equation is not your root, but anyone that satisfies the equation is your root. Now, as an activity for you, since now at the end of this video lesson, I want to give an assignment to you guys. It's a work to rationalize, simplify root 75 minus 3 divided by root 3 plus 1, and leave your answer in the form a plus b root c, where a, b, and c are rational numbers. So basically, you simplify root 73 minus 3, root 75 minus 3, sorry. So it's root 75 minus 3 divided by root 3 plus 1. So we are going to simplify it, and I'm going to give your answers in the simplest form possible. So thank you for watching.